I'm Sidhi, Dhir, the Executive Director of TiE Singapore, and welcome you all to this session under Emerge, which talks about digital marketing and SEO. Emerge is an initiative which we have started from November last month onwards, where we help small businesses who are struggling due to COVID to go digital, to get help in business series, to get mentors, and even to get connected to and get market access. That is, get connected to investors, to customers alike. So thank you so much for joining us in this yet another exciting Emerge session. This time, we've got Soumik Chakraborty. He is a founder of AAR Consultancy, father of two, author, digital marketing specialist, scrum master, speaker, trainer, and mentor, active practitioner running digital campaigns for over 13 years. Soumik is also a serial entrepreneur. He's worked in Dentsu Group and WPP Group, member of Internet Marketing Association, a Google certified professional, and has worked or managed campaigns for American Express, Unilever, DBS, Great Eastern, Nestle, L'Oreal, Singtel, Mothercare. The list continues. He also works very actively with startups and SMEs. Today, Soumik's going to talk about digital marketing and SEO. Soumik, over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Sidhi. Every time someone introduces me, it feels so weird to hear so much. Maybe next time I should bring it shorter. But hey, guys, a good Thursday evening. Let's get into the program directly. So what I'll be talking about today is digital marketing strategy and SEO. I also have got a few slides of digital trends to go through. So before I move forward, let me just introduce you to me, or why you should be listening to me. So I'll skip this slide. You guys have seen this material quite a lot. This one, I know it's animation. It's a very childish, but yesterday when I was doing my slides, my son told me that it looks really cool. Keep it. So I kept it for him. But yeah, let's move forward. So this is me in short. I've been working for over 13 years now. Worked in multiple agencies, handle a lot of clients. I've also been featured on the Ocean Entrepreneur, Straight Times, and so forth. And I'm a startup myself, so I have multiple companies. And I do understand this COVID has brought about a lot of issues. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. My family is my priority. My lovely son and my daughter. Son is 5-year-old. My daughter is about 1.5. So they are the center of my world. Some interesting facts about me. Indian, so my life is like a Bollywood movie. I met my wife through social media called Orkut. I'm not sure how many of you remember what Orkut is about. It was way before Friendster and others, right? So I think, I did meet her on social media. We have been together 14 years, and then tomorrow is our 10th anniversary. So I'm right now at a staycation, so I'm enjoying giving this presentation. Some other facts about me. I love to play tennis. Whenever I get a chance, I don't play like him, but whenever I do, Netflix. Being an Indian, sports like cricket runs in my blood. I used to play, though don't look at it. Don't look like the athletic time these days. Big foodie. I'm a paranormal investigator, or used to be. Like I said, kids are my priority, along with my wife, and I'm a big fan of Marvel. If I've been doing this from my study room, you would have seen the entire Marvel action figures and everything behind me. So that's about me. I love to talk. I mean, that's why I'm here. I love to interact, and I think one very important, or I would rather urge you guys, please ask questions, because while we have a set of slides or set of topics that we want to talk to you about, I think the best way that I can give value to you if you asked specific questions or direct questions. I don't even mind going off this if today I can answer some of your business challenges, right? And I think that's what this series is about, to help you guys during this COVID times, especially the small and medium businesses and the startups. So let's get right into it without spending much time. Let's understand what digital strategy is. So can anyone tell me, how long do you think, or how fast you are able to, or rather, let's take one step back. Can you guys raise your hand, or chat, or put something on the chat box to say how many of you guys have run some form of digital marketing campaigns? Can I see a quick idea of how many of you have run some campaigns? Either you can raise your hand or, you can put it on the chat. Okay. I see some of you have done that. Awesome. Awesome. Great. So for the others who have not run, how fast do you think it takes for you to run a digital marketing campaign? Any question? I'll follow the 7 to 8 second rule. One of my mentors said that 5 days. Awesome. So I'll wait for 7 to 8 seconds. And if there's no answer, probably there won't be any answer and I'll move on. 11 days. That's awesome answers, right? So I think you guys, some of you who have run know it, that it takes time. I can tell you going to Google Ads or Facebook and running the ads on the tool itself take 10 minutes or 15 minutes, right? Why it takes days? Because going to the tool and setting up your ads is just 15 to 10% of your digital marketing strategy or digital marketing process. You should spend 80 to 85% of your time planning your campaign. The bigger the campaign, the longer it time takes. I can tell you, for example, in Mother Care, when we were launching the e-commerce platform, it took us 6 months to strategize because it was completely new. It only had a static website before, analyzing user journey and so forth. So what I'm going to share with you today is not just the platform, some of the things that I use myself. Some of the things might be cliche to you. You would have seen it in your MBA and business areas, and you would think, oh, whoever does that. But trust me, I have been doing that, and that will differentiate you from your competitors, right? Strategize, and that's the best way to go. So jobs theory. I'll go back one slide. Can anyone tell me what is jobs theory, or anyone has an idea? Okay. Can you tell me who invented the jobs theory? Any guesses? The Q is in the word jobs theory. Anyone? Come on, don't be shy. Just type a name. Okay, it's not Steve Jobs. I'm not leading. I was leading you guys into a trick question. It has been invented by Theodore Levitt, and this is a very important concept when you do marketing. Remember this: the idea of jobs theory is that people have jobs that need to get done, and they get products to do those jobs. Basically, why people buy a drill? Because they have to drill a hole, right? Why people fly plane? Because they have to go somewhere faster and in a quick time, right? Now, what plane they take depends upon the other part, right? How good your service is. But then again, the need for doing a service or the need, not the want, the need for availing a service, the need for doing something depends upon the job that they have to do. So keep that in mind. So when you're doing marketing, the first most important concept, don't go heavy on your product features. Think about what solution your products are giving, what gaps your products are helping them fill, what challenges your solutions, your services are helping users overcome, right? So that's the right way to connect to them faster. Don't go heavy on, like for a phone, don't talk about I have an amazing camera. I mean, now a lot of the brands talk about because they have a cult following, but if you're a new product, talk about how the camera can help you. Even if you see now, right, the Huawei and the other cameras, they talk about how amazing photos it can take. They're not just talking about, oh, we have 30 megapixel. It's not about giving benefit. So keep that in mind. Don't go very hard on features. So having the jobs theory at the back of your mind for every marketing campaign goes a long way in making sure it is successful. Second part, this is where the jobs theory fits. You would have seen it in MBA, right? We call layers of a product: the core, the actual, and the augmented. What does the core product do? The core product is a purpose for which a product is built. For example, if I talk about a pen, the core feature of the pen is to write, right? Airplane, to fly; car, to move from one place to another. So the most intangible need that we have. The actual is what makes the product. If I'm talking about a pen, the look and feel, the brand name, the color, how big it is, if there's a smell. So everything that makes a product. So if I compare the core and the actual, you get the product that you have. And the sad part is 80 to 90% of the companies are fighting there. They all talk about, oh, we have an amazing product. It can do this, it can do that. You should get us. This is how we are better. But then so is everyone else. How do you create that distinction? This is where augmented value comes into the picture. You have to go above and beyond and provide that value to your customer that no one else is providing. And I'll give you an example. Now the airline industry is really in big trouble. If any of you flew from Singapore to India, and if you know about this airlines called Indigo, one of the reasons why Indigo was profitable to a lot extent in those days was they were also budget airlines, right? You want to book your premium seats, you pay money. There's no food provided, you have to pay money. But what they realized is people travel. Not everyone would buy food, because if you go from Singapore especially or somewhere else, the airports have food provided, right? What they gave 30 kgs free, 20 or 30 kgs, I can't remember, free luggage with every seat. Now think about it. When you fly budget, like whenever I have flown budget, probably I will buy only luggage with me, right? For others, every ticket won't probably buy luggage, because buying luggage is expensive, like 25, 30 USD for 20 kgs or so. So when people fly budget, buying luggage is not their priority. That's not the main revenue stream. So Indigo realized, hey, even if I give it for free, it doesn't matter. I'm not losing so much. But what I am gaining is a lot more people will buy me because they see it as a value add, right? So, and their flights always used to be fully. If you tried booking Indigo during peak period, you would realize you will never get a seat, right? So they provided value, which was above and beyond. So this is a very product or feature oriented value. There are companies that provide augmented value, emotional. Like, let me ask this question. So if you can quickly type and let me know, if I ask you to name one soft drink company, can you name that? One soft drink company. Just type quickly on the chat. Okay, thank you, Mukundan. What about others? Okay. Okay. And if you guys just go down the chat, Santori, oh man, Nalin, you're a man of my heart. And now, by the way, they're having promotions. Anyways, digressing from the topic. Coca-Cola, if you see, come up most. Why? If you look at Coca-Cola and Pepsi, hardcore supporters will say, "Oh, I like the Coca-Cola taste, less sweeter, or more sweeter." But you will realize what they do is they play with. I mean, I won't say play with your emotions, but they affect you in an emotional level, and we will learn it under brand storytelling, right? But keep that in mind. When I reach to brand storytelling, I'll tell you how Coke creates that augmented value, and that why when we talk about it, that's the first thing that comes to our mind. Right, so augmented is above and beyond. It could be at an emotional level. It could be at a physical product. But you have to go above and beyond the core and actual. Everyone is fighting about features. Everyone is giving promotions. Everyone is talking about price. Everyone is talking about why they are better. It's too busy. 85% of the mess happens in this area. Try thinking augmented. What more can I give, or how can I add that additional value to my customers? So understanding the chart becomes, and this takes a long time to figure out. I won't say you will get it today, right? Some company takes 2 to 3 months to figure out what are the augmented value. So think about this. This will help you go a long way. This was a heavy principle that I explained. Any questions about this? Anyone? Any questions so far? Maza. Oh, I miss Maza Iqbal. Remind me of old days. Anyone else? Any questions you have so far? Okay, great. Let's move on. So another important, so there are many concepts, I saw someone. Okay. Okay. Could you just, okay, please summarize if possible. So if you could just elaborate what that means. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. I talk about me. Okay, sure. This one. Okay.
Nana, we've given you the option to talk if you want, so that it can be faster.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just give a key call out. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. So the key call out is don't just get stuck. What I've repeated a couple of times. Don't just get stuck on the main features and benefits of your product. I gave a couple of examples of how you can give that augmented value, because everyone is fighting in features and products and price and promotion. Go above and beyond that and try to show what value you are able to provide, so the customers will come to you.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Soumik. Clear now. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Soumik, just 1 second. If anyone wants to, is it okay if anyone wants to ask a question, we tell them to raise their hands and we allow them to talk? Will that be faster?
Sure, that will be awesome. And if you can help me monitor, then I don't have to click back.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Arun, you had raised your hand earlier, so we are lowering your hand. Anyone who has any questions, please raise your hand and we'll give you the, we'll switch on the option of talking so that becomes faster and more interactive. Thanks.
Okay. So there are a few more strategies, but in the interest of time, I won't go through all. But in the end, right, remember this IDA model. Some of you might know: awareness, interest, desire, and action. So this falls very well into a customer journey. Awareness is, where customers are beginning to get to know your product. Interest is one, they know about your product. They're comparing different products, understanding which one they should, and probably if they like your product, there will be more interest towards it. Desire, at this stage, they want, okay, I need to buy this product, and then the action happens, right? Similarly, for IDA model, there are platforms that play around it. So one of the first things that I see when any startups or when companies starts to advertise, they think when they do digital marketing, they have to go all out on all channels. And I think that's if you have a lot of budget, I still wouldn't advise you to do that. It's important to understand which platform falls under what stage, and then spending your money accordingly will give you a lot more returns. For example, awareness is one way, right? So if your objective of that marketing campaign is just to generate awareness, let people know, there are banner ads, run-on-site ads, or newspaper ads that goes all on way. Interest, if you know some interest of the people when you're starting your ads, maybe you can skip the awareness stage. You can play around with the ad copy and target them. For example, I put men's health as an example because that's Avengers. But yeah, idea was there are specialized magazines for specialized industries, so there is a lot more targeting done. Or social media, right, where the interest. So if that's your purpose, skip the awareness, target the interest, and then just let them know that you exist and play around with your ad copy, which ties back to the jobs theory and the 3 layers of the product. And there are even e-commerce websites. I think they are a unique breed that falls under interest as well as desire, because when we want to buy something, we'll go to e-commerce. If we are interested, we'll again go and check it. But this is mainly for online commerce. But other than that, a brilliant platform that comes under the desire part is Google. Like when people go and search, I want to buy a digital camera, chances are at least 60% they are interested to buy the digital camera, right? So you don't have to create their interest. They are coming with a desire to do a certain product. All you have to do is show your ad and they will buy. And this is one common thing. I don't know if it's the same thing in your company. I work with a lot of startups, and when I ask, hey, let's do advertising, the first thing they tell me is, oh, yes, we are doing Facebook ads. And I always ask them, why are you only doing Facebook ads? Why not Google? Oh, Google is expensive. It's not expensive. In fact, if I talk about conversions, I think there's no other platform that will give you a better conversion than Google. Why? I'll tell you. Very good example. One of my companies that I consult is in the fintech industry, right? Very new startup, just less than a year, financial technologies. So when I was trying to understand them more, what I did, I clicked on their competitors. Now, in social media, in Facebook, because I clicked a couple of the competitors, the algorithm made it seem like I am interested in fintech. And it started showing me all these ads when I'm not actively looking for it. I'm just sitting, browsing my Facebook, and I get targeted. And that's what happens. That's the reality. So you spend money, you spend dollars. Even if I click to read about you, actually, I'm spending your money to read and make case for my own client. So you see, that's how social media works. It takes interest based on sometime they might have shown interest maybe 3 months back, 4 months back. It's a very passive. I'm not saying it doesn't work. There are ways to make it work, but I'm not going into the details. But I'm just saying that don't stick to Facebook. But in Google, if someone comes, let's say lending provider, they say, I want to take business loan. chances are they're already interested in taking business loan, because the platform Google is created for that. It's a very demand-based platform. People come on the platform with already an intent to purchase or consume something. So it is a beautiful platform. Where will you get somewhere that ready customers are searching for things that you provide? All you have to do is provide that. And that's why I always tell them, think about Google, do it correctly. That will give you the most results. And then once they're converted, please have a CRM. Again, so many startups have Excel sheets. Analyzing data is not easy on Excel sheets. And CRM doesn't have to. There are a lot of free CRMs. There are a lot of small CRMs. I think the perception of CRMs are it's very expensive, but no, it's not. And there are a lot of grants Singapore give. Even there are a lot of CRMs very, very cost effective. But if you don't have CRM, you won't be able to analyze your data. You won't be able to understand your data. You won't be able to create that persona of your customer. And then what you will do, you will be guessing, targeting different channels. A CRM can actually create this path that we have for you, so you know exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do it. So what we do is, after understanding that, we analyze user journey and break them down into the different functions. And that becomes easy then to know, okay, this campaign, I'll only go Facebook. This campaign, I'll only go Google. So you don't have to spend everywhere or just stick to one, because different platforms have different needs. Any questions, anyone, on this slide? Please break down your user journey and then come with this. This is very important. There are a lot of concepts. I'm not going through all in the interest of time, but please, at least the ones that I'm showing, do it to some extent. Find that augmented value. Think about the jobs theory and all. Like even in awareness, you're talking about the jobs theory. Interest, talking about the jobs theory. Try to give some value in every ad that you do, in every communication that you do. If no questions, I'll proceed. Sure. What I will do, Arun, I will let Sidhi know some of the cost-effective CRMs, and you can have a look at it. Great. Digital marketing trends. I love this part. Not a single place that I've shared it, people not liked it. It's interesting. I will share some great trends. Some were meant to be for 2021. It took a long time, but actually started coming in very strongly. Some of them will be very useful for 2021 as well, right? So let's go through them one by one. Chatbots, they are extreme money saver. Yes, you need to have special, some investment at initially, which a lot of grants are being given by government. But the power of chatbot is the more you use, the better it becomes. And I have seen people selling insurance, like one of my early fintech clients, when they launched here, they started selling insurance, and the insurance are expensive, $2,000, $3,000 premiums. Maybe even higher, right? Because they were targeting expats. There's so many. In fact, I have seen even some major e-commerce players, they have gone into chatbots and started converting people. And it is estimated that, by 2022, it will be $8 billion industry. Why? Because in just 2018 itself, from early to end, the numbers rose almost 3 times to 100,000. 2020, people said, Business Finder, record shows 80%. Business Insider, stated 80% of marketing executives will be using it, and I can tell you, people are. The amount of I work in a entrepreneur network, and I have people who develop CRMs. The amount of interest I'm getting, even from new startups, saying that, hey, I want to develop this. Do you have any contacts? And I refer people, because people have realized automation is the future. I mean, it's sad that some people will lose jobs, but it saves so much of cost, right? Spend that, do it right, and this can really become one of the biggest, I would say, marketing channels in the future. It's already started to become, like Facebook Messenger ads are starting to convert. When it was first launched, it was a very iffy, but now it's working very well. Right, so it's coming very, very big time. Keep the chatbot in mind. Micro influencers. I'll go one slide behind. Can anyone tell me what are micro influencers? What are micro influencers? Anyone? Yes, I think YouTube, Insta influencers are both micro and big ones. Folks with a huge personal network, I think, yes, you're not that far off. Small businesses, yes. I think the platform-wise, yes, I think micro and big influencers are there always. But micro influencers, they're people on social media channel who have a strong following in terms of intent, but they don't have the celebrity status. So, for example, they have somewhere between 1,000 to 90,000, right? And why it's important is because people who follow them, because they're not celebrity, right? If let's say tomorrow I started doing movies, I mean, I won't get any roles, but just saying, let's say tomorrow I started doing movies, a lot of people will follow me just because I'm a celebrity. But if I am talking really cool stuff, I'm talking about things that can add value to you, and then you follow me, chances are you're following me because of my content. You trust my content, you trust what I'm saying, not just because of my celebrity status. And that's where micro influencers are become very popular, because people follow them for their content. People follow them because they like them, what they are dishing out, what they're talking about. So I would say the conversion that happens, or the brand impact that happens from micro influencers are huge. Okay, we have a couple of company plus chatbots across different countries and culture. I think it is technical. We can take it offline. But to answer your questions, yes, it is possible now with multi-language processing options in coding. It is definitely possible. You can, but again, I think it will also depend in terms of data being collected in those countries. The more data they collect, the better it can become. But it is definitely possible. Micro influencers. So I haven't, if I'm talking about the ones that make an impact, Nalin, I haven't seen them give freebies like that. But yes, definitely they have events and giveaways to keep them. But I guess that's one way for them to engage. But people started following them because of their um, content, because of how good they were talking about, right? It's not because they had a celebrity status. That's why micro influencers make a lot of impact. Like I take to why they are why they have a really good status in marketing. They're trusted. Their opinions matter. That's why people are following them. They're brand relevant. Micro influencers will not talk about everything. They'll be specific, and that's why they can really impact your brand in a very positive way. They might not have 1 million supporters, but if they have 90,000, chance of those 90,000 creating an impact is very good. And there are lots of micro influencers. Like you might not find thousands of people with 10 million, 100 million followers, but you might get 1,000, 10,000 people with 100,000 or 10,000 followers who are specific to a certain product, certain type of industry, and that's why you will get value. They're loyal. People who follow them are very, very loyal. And if you can get a micro influencer that really believes in you, I can tell you they will go all around, and they will advocate you, and they will have a lot of influence over their sphere. So micro influencers are the way to go. Think away from the big guys. Think of those smaller, and that's the reason why thought leadership have come out very strongly these days, right? People want thought leaders. People are looking for it. So it's definitely a way to go. We talked about it. They drive social buzz 22 times. That's a huge amount. Cost effective, almost 7 times lesser, and the engagement is 60% higher because what they say matters. People are listening to them. AR and VR. So augmented reality, virtual reality are two different concepts, but not far off from each other. So augmented reality is basically adds on to our reality, what we see, and then provides that value. Virtual reality is a completely different surrounding, right? So again, AR, VR are coming very strongly. By 2020, it was predicted they will reach 29.5 billion. I was just recently reading a report from Business Insider and One Marketing magazine. They already crossed 30 billion. And especially now that everyone has gone online, it has given a big push. By 2020, we are set predicted to reach 82 million. We're still waiting for the stats, but I don't think it'll be too far off because the economic impact has already exceeded what we predicted for the whole year, right? So AR VR is coming up very strongly. So let me just show a video here, and then we'll come back and talk whole video. But let me know if you guys can hear the volume.
job. Excellent. Well done. Level complete.
Welcome.
Snail zombies from your backyard.
Life is a journey.
I'll pause there. I'll send you this link. You can watch about it. Besides the cucumber being wasted, if I did, if I cut cucumber like that and wasted, my wife would have made sure I'm sleeping outside the house. But it might seem very far-fetched, right? But we were already involved in something similar, right? Pokemon. How many people went crazy, right? And if you think this is not working, have you seen the IKEA app that has come out? Again, I'll provide the link. IKEA app is you can actually take one of the products, place it in your house anywhere, and see how it looks. You can go nearby, check the specifications. And so it's not science fiction anymore, right? The technology exists, and people like IKEA and other companies are using it. And because of, if you just go and search on Google and see how to create a VR app, AR app, you will see so many companies very similar to creating a website, that step-by-step information to do it. So this technology has come down to our level, and it has become very easy to do it, right? So think about this creative ways, and it is booming, right? And people who don't ride on it for the first time will will lag behind quite a lot. So think about how you can give an experience, whether it's a marketing or whether if your product can encroach on this. So think about it. Start thinking beyond just one angle. Ephemeral content. Ephemeral content, again, works a lot, especially when you have really cool photos and videos to talk about. And I can tell you, like me, if I go to a Facebook page and I follow someone and I'm bombarded with posts all the time, I will get very irritated. And when I go to the page like every half an hour, 1 hour, it's quite irritating and quite messy, right? People will think about, what are you trying to achieve, right? You're literally blasting. So ephemeral content like stories, Insta stories, Facebook stories, and you saw how popular it is because the platforms highlighted it is for a short period of time, for 24 hours, and you can really get that push, which your probably a post can't get, right? So again, it's becoming very, very popular. And there are platforms, and if you want to take note, platforms like Vengage, VENNGAGE, or something like that, or even Canva, CANVA, that a very small subscription, like I think $40 or so a month, it can help you create this amazing visual. So all you have to do is create a template, and it already has preset, very similar to the stock images that we buy. It's something like that in the same size, same format. All you have to do is just edit, put in your text, and run it. So very cool platforms are already available for you to do that. You don't need a designer. In fact, I work a lot with Fiverr.com, Fiverr. There are a lot of close contacts I've made over the last 4 or 5 years that I've run my company. I work with them quite a lot, quality content, look at reviews. So all creation of these becomes very, very easy and cost effective. The perception we had, oh man, designing is expensive. VR, AR is expensive. Creating videos are expensive. It's not, there are ways to do it. And think about it. Be creative, be flashy, because people are watching for it. I just thought I'll share a few of stats that we have got from various providers, and I have written the reference as well. So a couple of questions was asked to users. They asked, when was the last time you followed you unfollowed a brand on social. On Twitter, 12% of respondents said that they unfollowed brand in the last few days. And the Twitter part was mainly for North America and outside, not so much in Asia. Facebook, 25% of them say unfollowed a brand in the last month, in 1 month. And 49% say that they never unfollow brands on LinkedIn. So my question is, when you are marketing, why are you not thinking platforms like LinkedIn? Having thought leaderships, and this is where the next part will come, having ideas that work, showing how subject matter expert you are, will go a long way, right, in understanding or people following you. So think about that. If you're staying quiet, trying to grow your company will take ages. Share your views, share your thoughts on LinkedIn, your social media, let people follow you, let people see you. The more visibility you get, the better people will connect with you. So these are free tips, right? In fact, when I first started my company, I signed up for a mentorship program. For the first 4-5 months, I didn't have any business. So I went back to my mentor and said, hey, what should I do? He said, how many friends do you have on LinkedIn? I said, connections. I said, I have about 2,000 connections on LinkedIn. I said, okay, go to each and every one of them for the next 1 month. This is your task. And tell them, this is what you do. This is what you help them and ask them to refer you and give you business. I said, if I do that, they will start unfollowing me. They said, if they unfollow you, they don't need to be your connections, right? I said, yeah, makes sense, right? And I did that. I would say less than 0.1% unfollowed me, but my first 7 clients came from LinkedIn, right? Think about these, there are a lot of value in doing that. The second question that was asked is, what would provoke you to unfollow a brand's official social media account? 21 said they'll follow if the content is repetitive and boring. That's where Ephemeral and other content has come. 19% said they will follow a brand on Facebook if they post too frequently. You see, all connected to the trends that we talked about. 8% said that they will unfollow a brand on Twitter due to lack of engagement. Low. I think for Southeast Asia, we don't have to worry. But when people talk on Twitter, talk to you, they expect you to respond back, especially in North America and Europe, but not so much in India. But then again, even if you relate it back to your social media, if you're not engaging enough, they will come off or they will not be with you. Social listening. Again, social listening goes a long way. There are many free tools available. Again, understanding users, listening to what they want will help you really, really get better. Again, I remember when I was in Ogilvy, Milo came to us and said, hey, everyone in Singapore is using Milo, but what I want is increase our consumption 25%. We were like, what? Everyone, every shop, every household drinks Milo. How we can increase the sale of that product 25 to 30%. So what we did was we started doing social listening, and we realized people likes to take photos with their Milo, right? People likes to take their Milo when they're doing sports, when they're swimming. So we came up with campaign Me and My Milo, like you're dating. And we told people, hey, share amazing photos of things that you would do with a Milo. And we literally got people doing cartwheels. We also got a submission where people were proposing to Milo and marrying them. It was fun. But what happened, it was in the news. People talked about it. People, to do things, people started buying Milo. Others who did not buy Milo saw that, found it interesting, and had that perception, I need to get Milo, I'm thirsty. So we actually overshot their KPI 25% by 15% more, 40% growth in Milo sales. Again, those are the insights that listening will give you. What are they talking about you? How you can satisfy them. So again, listening, very important. And it has been there for many years. Again, one of my favorite brands is Marriott Group, amazing hotels, and they are one of the best examples of a lot of things. And this is what happened in terms of sentiment. So this couple was celebrating their anniversary, I think, or they just got. I think they just proposed, and I think anniversary, and they put on social media saying that, hey, we are having fun. We got a ring, and they were talking about it, and they tagged Marriott. So what Marriott was doing is, sorry, they didn't tag Marriott so much, I think. But what they were doing listening around all their properties to figure out what people are talking about. And they realized this couple is actually staying in one of their properties. So what they did, they went back and gave them wine and gave them, chocolates to say, hey, congratulations. So you see, as a customer, you feel nice, right? And those are some of the things that you will get when you do social listening. Brand storytelling, organic is not dead. I hear so many people talking about it, but social media has evolved, but organic is not dead. Craft your story, not just ad. And this is where the brand storytelling is. So what I will do, I think we are running a bit short of time, so I will come back and show this video. But brand storytelling is talk about your brand, talk about who your brand is as a person, like Coke does, right? They talk about happiness, they talk about friendship, they talk about helping others, and that's what gives that augmented perceived value of a brand. And that's why, when we talk about it, Coke is the first thing that comes to our mind. I will send you these links. I think watch it, especially the second one, which is in Philippine, what they did. So they do it in every language, and I think it's awesome. I mean, as a fact, Coke is one of the largest because of that. So let's move into SEO. Any questions before I move into SEO? In the next 5 to 10 minutes, I will quickly go through this, and then I will stop for Q&A. Any questions? Anyone? Or what we just went through?
Folks, please feel free to raise your hands, and then we could, switch on the option of speaking and asking the question rather than you guys typing. Soumik, I have one question.
Sure.
Everyone struggles, like you were talking about leveraging your LinkedIn and leveraging your Facebook and Instagram and the likes. So there are two questions. One is, might be very specific to LinkedIn, but then there's a company page and there's a personal page. Now, I don't know, you can ignore this question if it's too in depth for LinkedIn, that how do we leverage, and which is more important, the company page or a personal page when you're promoting a company? Because I generally see the company page generally has your employee information and not where you put all your campaign on. So that's the first question. The second question is, we might have 10,000 connects, and we can promote it to them. But then from a Facebook standpoint, how do we increase likes? That's first. And second, is Facebook a very important tool, even in these times, to run your business?
Cool. So I'll take the LinkedIn question first. So I think very important. And I think this just fits in with the entrepreneur very. And one of the reasons why I got this talk itself is a brand, is a story, and how I work with Dentsu and others. So I think there are two sides to it. You're an entrepreneur first, you're founder or your CEO, and then you have a business. So the business just talk about the brand story. You should talk about yourself, who you are as a person, show your thought expertise. Because as a startup, people forget that the founder is very close to the success. When people resonate with the founder, if the founder is educated in terms of subject matter expert, I think all founders are, right? But if you're always in the news, people tend to associate the success of your company with you. So I think it's very important as a founder on your personal page, you should continue doing that, while the business part should do the business brand storytelling. The second question about Facebook, I think Facebook is still, if you use it correctly, there are many optimization options available on Facebook. Because at the end of the day, the people who are on LinkedIn, again, there's a very much overlap of those people on Facebook as well. But how you use it, gone are the days where we are just targeting based on promotions. If you really get the brand value out, usually when we browse social media, our guard is a bit down because we are here for, relaxing. So it can still target them. But then again, campaigns like what you mentioned, buying likes, doesn't work. Engage them, talk about conversations, talk about thought leadership, give them cool content, give them fun content. The more they engage, their friends see it, and then they will start coming up. And this goes very well to what I talked about. Organic is not there. I think the organic traffic that you get through Facebook in terms of viewership or followers will give you more benefit than buying those likes. And you have to build it up over time. You can't get it tomorrow. You can't get it day after. Keep talking, keep engaging. This organic likes will get over time, and then your engagement will go up. And that's where your conversations and conversions will start happening.
Thanks, Soumik.
Okay, cool. Okay, SEO, search engine optimization. I think 13 years back or 14 years back, this was the first thing that I started doing in digital marketing, because anyways, social media marketing was not there anyway in those days. So let me ask you this question. Anyone knows how search engine works? Oh, sorry, my trigger finger actually showed you the slide. I was supposed to ask this question. But it's very important to understand how search engine works for you to understand what SEO is. Consider SEO or consider search engine as a big index. In a book, we have index at the first page where we have chapter 1, certain page number, chapter 2, certain page number. So search engine is exactly that, right? It doesn't store your website. It stores a copy of your most recent content on its index. And what will have, it will have, instead of the page numbers, will be the IP address of where you are located. So search engine is generally a big index with all billions of website and the IP address, which is the page number. So when you search for them, Google knows where it is. So when you click on it, Google will go there, pull the information and display it on your website. So it is a big book, in other words, nothing else. What they do, they have these robots or spiders that they call. You would have heard things like Google Bot or Google robots or Google spiders. These are nothing but codes. So Google Bots or Google spiders runs through your website. It looks at the back end. Okay, it doesn't look how your design is, what is the color. Everything that you do is written as a code, right? HTML code or JavaScript. It runs through those code and then understands what your website is about. And when it's doing the process, this process is called caching, CACHING. So when you hear has Google cached you, if someone asks you, in other words, they're saying has Google Bots or Google spiders gone to your website and seen what your content is and stored the copy as a latest copy on your website, right? So Google Bots and spiders are the reason why our websites are cached on Google. So when people search for a website, we will be found. If your website is not cached on Google using the spiders and bots, then your website won't be found on Google, right? So this is a very important concept of what a search engine is. So there's a lot more complexity, but overall, it's an index that stores the latest copy of your website, and Google bots and spiders are the reason how they get to know who they are and what your website is all about. So let me ask you this question. So if there are billions of pages on Google Index, what is the basis by which Google ranks a page for a particular query? Like, for example, I search for car rental. Why will Google rank me as number 1 for a car rental? There are billions of pages that talks about car rental, right? Which Google bots and spiders have understood and updated it. Can anyone tell me what is that one important feature? Okay, the answer is relevance. So relevance, again, there are a lot of ways to get relevance for your page. For example, when you talk about car rental, your website should talk about car rental. There's certain things that you need to do for SEO. We will learn about it, but that's what relevance is about. If your website is relevant to the query, your website will be ranked higher. And we will see how certain ways you can increase that relevance. SEO doesn't involve cost. You don't have to pay Google to rank you. That's Google Ads. SEO is completely organic. And that's why it works. Because if you see, when you search something, I would, like me, 9% of the times I will look at those organic listing that comes after the 4 ads, right? And that's what it is. 90% of the click-through rate comes on those organic. So that's what SEO is about. It's the organic part. After the 4 ads on top, you will see about 10 pages below. That's where SEO comes into the picture. Let's do a quick activity. We'll just give a 1 minute to do. I think on the chat, or if you want to talk about, just think you are a foreigner and you're coming to Singapore. Write down 3 searches as a foreigner you think people would type to find things about Singapore. Any 3 queries they might be searching about Singapore to find in Singapore when they are here. I think in quick 1 minute, can I just see a couple of the searches? Places to visit in Singapore, awesome. Schools for children, helpers, things to do. Okay, if I just look at these 4 searches, none of the 4 searches are same, right? While things to do and see might be related to places to visit, see hotels, food. So what I'm trying to say is for SEO, picnic spots, house safe, you see, so much. And it's just 20 of us, best site to rent, 20 of us, and even us, we can agree on one term. And when there are thousands and millions of people are searching about your brand of a place, just imagine the variety of keywords that it might generate. So how do you decide, what keyword to select? The wrong way to do, I have seen always the boss tells me, hey, I think that's the keyword for me, optimize it. I would say don't do that because, a lot of the time the assumptions don't work. The best way to figure out the right keyword is actually using Google tool. Google gives the tool called Google Keyword Planner. One of the best resources. It's a free tool. Go there, search about your website, and Google will give you thousands of keywords that they think is relevant. You just sort through, pick the most relevant keyword. It will show you what's the traffic for that, and you can optimize based on that, right? Don't assume because one person or different people have different ways or different perceptions about you, and they will search very differently. So to understand keywords, there could be different. Either it could be short keywords, very generic. For example, if I'm searching for car rental generic keyword will have high traffic. Or if I'm searching for where to get Toyota Wish as car rental, longer, more specific, lesser traffic, which are called long tail. Generally, short and long tail is what we call. Medium tail is somewhere in between, but we don't refer medium tail too much. But we generally talk about short tail and long tail keyword, right? So those are long tail is where conversion happens the most. How you should shortlist your keyword, again, is important. So you know that there are many keywords. You should research in Google to figure out which keywords to select for your website. But remember the customer journey. There are 5 steps where problem recognition, where the customer realizes they need something, then they search more about it, they evaluate. This is where multiple options are seen, and then they purchase, and then post-purchase happens, right? If I break it down, problem recognition, no search, right? This is where I realize, let's say I want to buy a car. So when I'm looking for car rentals in Singapore, what I would search for, car rental Singapore, budget car rental, you see, more generic. When I'm evaluating different options, so this is where I know what are the car rentals, where I want to know, about certain brand or certain car, right? Toyota car rental, I want to know rental promotions to compare, or ABC rental, if they give Toyota, you see, more specific, lesser traffic, and the purchase usually will happen when I've decided, okay, I'm going with ABC rental, right? So I will tell, hey, does ABC rental have Toyota Wish? So you see, again, different stages have different keywords. Another problem with SEO happens, people just take all long tail or all short tail and they start optimizing. No, look at your pages. Which page do you think fits where in the customer's journey? Select the keyword accordingly and then start optimizing it. Okay, so that's what I want to say. I will share the slides so you guys can have a look at. But again, even SEO is not just about picking the keywords. Understanding the journey is important. And what I want to talk about is I will go through quickly a few steps that are very important for SEO, things you need to look out for of how you can use the keywords in your page. So overall SEO, there are 3 main components. One, the content, how you write the content, what you put on your site. The second one are links, backlinks, how you get backlinks. The third part is the technical factors, technical speed of loading, how complicated your website, all of that really affects SEO as well these days. Now to do a backlink activity, I wanted to do this very nicely, but if anyone, a couple of you, if I ask you, no other option, just these 2 movies, and you have to select one of them, which one would you select? Whether you'll select Avengers or will you select Zombieland? Can you just type and say like A for Avengers, Z for Zombieland? Yay, more A. I love both movies, but from answer, I see there are a lot more A's. So if I have to say, which movie is more popular or which is the most popular movie? The answer will be Avengers, right? This is exactly how search engine works. So for a keyword, which movie has more, or when I search for, let's say, car rental Singapore, which website will come up? The website that has more backlinks pointing to them. So what are backlinks? I go to a website B, put in my link like, abc.com. So that link, if someone clicks, they will come back to my website, or when Google bots go to their website, they will see, hey, this link is pointing back to this. So that's how backlinks work. It has to be relevant links. If I'm doing a car rental, I should get backlinks from a car rental website. And then I have to use the keyword car rental. So when Google starts seeing, hey, there's a lot of backlinks called car rental pointing to this website, then this website must be important. And this website must be for car rental, exactly like we did, right? We pointed to a movie called Avengers. And that's how backlink really works. So another example, this site has 2 other websites linking to them. This site has multiple. So that's how backlink activity works. But one thing to note is not just the quantity. even the quality matters, right? If I get a link from website like .gov or .edu, like education, one link from .gov amounts to, let's say, 10,000 links on other website, right? So again, mixing that becomes important. Then there are the technical factors. I won't go through it. Things like, what you do with if you have so many broken links, page not found errors, duplicates, all of those. There are some 200 factors that a SEO guy is actually looking at a daily basis, that your tech guy is looking at a daily basis, and not doing those will impact your SEO in a big way. I wanted to highlight some of the most basic on page now. So we understood what backlinks are. We understood what technical factors. Again, I wouldn't say understood, but I just gave you a brief. But these are quite technical. We can have offline conversations about it. We can connect and I can go through more with you. And then basic on page. These are must. So let's say now I am optimizing the word car rental. So when I optimize the word car rental, the car rental word should be on the title of my page. My website URL, I'll give you some examples shortly. It also should have the word car rental. My description should talk about car rental. My header should have the keyword car rental, and all text for images. For example, let's say this is my car rental, right? You see, this is the title where you can see on top of the page, the word car rental is there. Up to 70 characters is limited, but make sure when you are optimizing a keyword for the page, the title has the word car rental in it. And every page should be, if you have 10 pages should have 10 different keywords. Do not repeat your keywords because Google doesn't like to be manipulated. Web address, so if you have a website where you can get carrental.com.sg or carrental.com, that's perfect because, Google identifies you. But, most of those popular keywords are taken. You can have variations of that link as a URL as well. Okay, that it's not difficult to do. It will be a bit challenging, but it's not difficult to do. So not everyone can get the perfect link, but if you get it, that's ideal. Description, when you search for websites, you will see a couple of lines that comes below. These are called descriptions. So they do not act as SEO. Please do not fall into trap but what agencies tell you. But Google has stopped taking it as SEO. But what it matters is you have 10 pages or 10 links on a page, right? And the description that you put will make someone click you more than the other. So it's more of a marketing message. So make sure you write exactly what the page is about, have a marketing twist to it, have a call to action. So out of those 10 links, at least they will click you. And the more that happens, chances of you ranking higher becomes better as well. Headers. So when you write, in Word document, we have header 1, header 2. Similarly, when you write or when you do a website, there are those tags like H1 tag, H2 tag. So H1 tag is given the highest preference. So if you have that keyword into the header of your page, for example, this is a header, right? We're trying to optimize, let's say, fast cash loan. And you see the keyword fast cash loan within the header. That also helps in SEO because you're telling Google, hey, look, it's in my title, it's in my header, it's in my content. So when the bot and crawler goes through it, it starts